Nice to meet everyone. My name is Nicole Panzovski. I am a FEMBA class of 2023. Um, I currently work at Netflix. I am the technology sourcing manager, supporting all of our enterprise and cloud infrastructure. And I joined Anderson in 2020. So I'm a COVID FEMBA that transitioned into now normal life. And one of the biggest decisions for deciding to come to Anderson was specifically because I thought that the timing was right. So I've attended a few panels, and a lot of questions that I get from people afterwards is they always ask, like, when did you decide it was the right timing? And for me, I actually started my FEMBA journey when I was 27. So I share ages because people have actually asked, like, how old were you? I'm 31 right now. I was 27 when I started it. I literally was like, well, I kind of fit into the bracket of FEMBA. That is how we were logically going to go through this. But I think that it was one of the perfectly timed portions in life. I think it was just right when it was transitioning into that mid-career professional, right when I actually had something to offer. But again, going back to a lot of these fantastic women is talking through how we learn from the community at Anderson. And so coming in with a little bit of that mid-career experience, I was able to actually partner with people who were in an EMBA program, in the FEMBA program, in the full-time program. And I think that we like to block it into these different chunks, but there's a lot of cross collaboration there. EMBAs are talking to FEMBAs are talking to full-times, and the amount of brain power, the amount of inspiration across the entire community is genuinely phenomenal. And it's not bucketed where, oh, this person's an EMBA and this person's a FEMBA. It's not, because you're sitting side by side in a lot of these classrooms across the board with the student population. And I think that that is one of the most phenomenal things that I got out of Anderson was that community of people and having a broad range of people in their career and where they're at, right? Personally, I had both of my children. Well, I'm actually pregnant with my third. I'm due in 3 weeks, so I'm very pregnant. You can probably maybe see it up here, but I'm very, very pregnant. I'm 9 months pregnant right now. And I'm with my third boy. And so I actually had both of my boys while I was in Anderson. I found out I was pregnant during Leadership Foundations, which is the first week of class. And then I closed out my MBA program with birth of my second boy. And it was just a fantastic experience. And I think it's so cool that all of the women on this panel are moms, just because I can't stress it enough. It is one, it's inspirational. And then two, it happens all the time. Like, this is not just like the four people that came from Anderson that happen to have kids. Like, there's just people who are progressing their life, people who met their spouse and got married and planned a wedding while they were here during their Anderson experience, people who got pregnant and had their first kid, people who had their fourth kid. Like, it's crazy the amount of inspiration you get from these fantastic women who are pursuing their careers, are inspirational, teaching you, and then also at the same time actively pursuing and prioritizing their family life. So it's really cool to see. And I thoroughly enjoyed it. I think that the support system is fantastic. Lactation rooms in Anderson are A plus, like fantastic. And the way that they do scheduling across FEMBA and EMBA and even full time, I graduated early, so I was actually able to take some full-time classes. Like with full-timers, I was able to take a few classes that were more targeted towards EMBA students. There's a lot of that crossover. So I think that that was one of the benefits. And one of my favorite things at Anderson, something that I really got out of it, was the Leadership at Anderson program. And I think that a lot of students participate in it. You get a career coach who really walks you through and coaches you through and challenges you to think through your priorities and what is that next step and how are you getting there. And I applied to multiple fully employed and even full-time programs when I was considering applications. And I think that Anderson set itself apart from one, the people that you meet, I met them and I was like, this feels like my people, right? And I loved that. I loved that there's these driven women, people who had their priorities and they knew what they were after, or they didn't, but they're like, I'm gonna figure it out while I'm here. And I love that. And then the amount of resources that Anderson has is great. I was a FEMBA, a Forte fellow, and I was part of the leadership at Anderson program, which was genuinely my favorite. And I feel like I got a lot out of that. And I actually transitioned into Netflix while I was in the FEMBA program. So great networking abilities. You're side by side with people who are working where you might want to work. And that's the best kind of networking that you're ever going to get. So it's been a while since I've thought through, my Anderson experience because I'm about like 2.5 years removed. But yeah, it was a fantastic experience and it was crazy and fun, and I can't recommend it enough.